highly anticipated season has kicked off in the other top leagues, with Spain to follow suit this weekend. After a turbulent transfer window, we will look into the contenders and separate the pretenders in the course of the season. Today, we will take a deep dive in the tactics of XAVI's Barcelona for the upcoming season. So, without further ado, let's start the Tactics Show. November 8th, 2021 saw club legend XAVI replace Ronald Koeman in the Catalan hot seat after a dreadful start to the season. Barca were 9th in the Liga after 12 games, and the cry for a change from the Barca faithful couldn't be ignored any longer. In came Xavi Hernandez from Qatari side Al Sadd. Fast forward to May, Barca finished second in the league, 13 points behind the champions Real Madrid. The campaign showed a major improvement, and a return of the philosophy versus success was built on in Xavi's playing days. With a significantly eye-catching transfer window, Barca has strengthened the key areas and as well as added the much-needed depth to compete on all fronts. Regardless of the registration barrier due to the squad cost limit rule in the La Liga, we will focus on Barcelona's tactics considering all the new signings are registered for the competition. With new signings of Jules Koundé, Andres Christensen, Frank Yannick Kessie, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Barca made business in the transfer market. Considering what we saw last season from Xavi, the same can be followed this season as well. A 4-3-3 is the go-to formation for Barca. Marc-Andre ter Stegen keeps his place in goal for the League and Champions League games, while Iñaki Peña can get game time in the cup games. Araujo and the new signing Christensen will be the centre-back pairing to friendlies suggest Eric Garcia is also in contention. Koundé can be deployed as the right-back with Alba on the other side. The depth in the defensive position is a huge taking point, with Piqué, Koundé, Sergi Roberto, Dest and Balde giving a lot of options to delve into. With Chelsea's signing of Marc Cucurella, Marcos Alonso's switch to the Catalan side looks imminent. In the midfield, the evergreen Busquets will play the deepest, flanked by Pedri and Gavi. Kessie will also get a lot of game time. Nico Pjanic, Alex Collado can be called upon when needed. Up front, the obvious choice in the centre forward is the new signing, Robert Lewandowski. Dembele has rejuvenated himself and looks to be the go-to option on the right side, with Rafinha playing on the left. They will have a lot of options in the telling part of the field, with Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, Memphis, Aubameyang, Braithwaite and Ezzoli. Despite the much-tested 4-3-3, our panel would like to predict that Barcelona can deploy in a back 5-2-3 in certain matches. A back of three of Koundé, Araujo and Christensen, with Alonso or Alba and Dest or Roberto in the wing-back roles, can supplement a wide front three and two midfielder, one playing as a deep-line playmaker and the other as a box-to-box. This will give Barcelona the avenue to keep a tight central low block, with the central defender acting as a third midfielder, but we will keep this discussion of 5-2-3 postponed for the future. In the 4-3-3, Barca predominantly look to play the possession-based game. Busquets looks to drop in between the centre-backs, giving a triangle to play out from the back and creating overloads against a pressing team. With Alba being a more traditional fullback, the right-back in Roberto or Koundé or Dest play as an inverted role and get in the central areas. This enables Pedri and Gavi to operate in the hub spaces and the license to roam forward, with the both being very press-resistant and progressive players. The wingers stay high and wide to stretch the back line and create the overload and the wide areas. With a lot of rotations between the centre mid, the left wing, the left back, it is difficult to man mark for the oppositions. Another key attribute to Xavi's team selection is the squad rotation and the fielding as a first 11 according to the opponents. Notably, the away games both the fullbacks play a more inverted role to give a solid core the central areas. Given Frankie de Jong stays, he will be deployed along with Pedri. FDJ's role in the Barca side is a lot different from his registered role in the Dutch national team. Xavi has given the license to FDJ to move forward, and his supreme dribbling and ball carrying ability makes him a perfect fit in any possession-oriented system. The signing of Kessie for free will bear its fruit throughout the season, as the Ivorian can fit into all the three different categories of a perfect midfield. Kessie was often deployed as a pivot alongside Sandro Tonali in the Milan Scudetto winning side. Later on the season, in Brahim Diaz's absence, Kessie played the number 10. His tenacity and the ball-carrying ability also suits the mold and we'll see him often being deployed against the more physically imposing sides. Dembele's susceptibility to injury can still be a concern, but with the added depth, they use Rafinha on the right side with the Fati on the left in the Frenchman's absence. Rafinha is a similar player to the Dembele who likes to cut inside from the wide areas and create chances by playing quick 1-2s to get the shot away. As the diagram shows, Rafinha has a strong affinity for long shots and has scored 4 goals from outside the box and outperforming his XG of 10.23 in the process, be it the slightest. Rafinha's success is imminent in the Barca colors, as being a former Marcelo Bielsa player will help him blend into a fluid passing system without much concerns. Now let's focus to the big signing in Robert Lewandowski, as the masses like to call him. Lewandowski comes with his reputation as one of Europe's top hitmen, and we can expect him to hit the ground running against Rayo. Lewandowski is a much different player to Aubameyang, as the latter thrives in a counter-attacking setup due to his pace, while Lewandowski is a more traditional centre-forward who can hold the ball with his strength and has cunning positioning in the box. He can also come short to receive the ball, creating a numerical advantage in the midfield, shades of a false nine, as well as he does for the Polish national team. In Bayern, he did not have to play that role of false nine, as Bayern face opponents who sit deep. His numbers also speak for itself, as in the last 5 seasons he has consistently kept on fire with his XG that average 32.44, a bold prediction for him being a Golden Boot winner of La Liga. No offense, Benz. After a successful window, there is a buzz around the club and the renewed sense of optimism that they will compete again in equal footings in both domestic and, more importantly, in the European scene. Only the time will tell. If you have enjoyed the video, please give us a like and consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell icon for notification for our upcoming more tactical showings.